We lived in a two-storied house. My husband and I stay on the first floor. My in-laws' bedrooms are on the ground floor. My husband and father-in-law both are corporate lawyers by profession. He looks after all the work, as my father-in-law is now a retired person. But people often visit him for various legal suggestions. Thus, we were habituated seeing unknown people at our house. Also, for the same reason, our house had a 24/7 gatekeeper for security purposes. It was back then when my son was only 5 months old. After finishing my lunch and putting my baby to sleep, I went to the balcony to relax. Our house is situated on a wide alley that connects to the main road. All I could see from our balcony was a wide empty alley and our sleepy gatekeeper sitting outside the main gate. I sat on a recliner and got busy on my phone. I had no idea how long I was on my own. Suddenly my eyes went towards the alley and I saw a woman standing under the roadside tree. Though her face was not clearly visible, I could tell she was staring at me. I ignored her, thinking as some random woman passing by our house. I got back to the phone again. After a couple of minutes, I looked up again. She was still standing there in the same manner. Even though the woman realized I can see her clearly, she didn't move an inch or looked away. There's nothing much I could do as she was outside our property. So I went inside and closed the balcony door. The next morning, I completely forgot about this incident. I fell asleep in the afternoon. A sudden call from my mother-in-law woke me up. I went downstairs. She surprisingly said that she saw a woman few moments back. I walked quickly to the main door and opened it. This time, the woman was standing inside the house lawn. She was looking straight up to my room. Her eyes were surrounded by dark spots, as if she hadn't slept for a while. Her clothes were old and rusty. She looked like a homeless person, but her eyes were still and sharp. Her lifeless stare freaked me out to the core and shouted out loud, "How did you come inside?" She didn't say, or move, or even blink. I got furious at the gatekeeper. I locked the door and went to get my phone to call the gatekeeper. I shouted over the call and asked him to come immediately. He came running, and I told him how he could let an unknown woman into our house without asking for our permission. The gatekeeper gave me a perplexed look and said he didn't see any woman near our home the entire day. Also, the gate was locked the whole time. The complete incident appeared very creepy and mysterious to me. At night, when my husband came home, I told him about this woman stalking us. He expressed a little disbelief at first, but then blamed all of it on the gatekeeper's irresponsible nature. But somewhere in my heart, it didn't feel right. 2 days after this incident, my son caught a terrible fever. We all became anxious and couldn't figure out what was wrong with our child. Several doctors came and go, but no one could cure him. I was worried as hell all day and night. I kind of forgot about women amidst all this, until one day I saw her again. And it was for the last time. That's what I still hope. I was busy in the kitchen downstairs. Suddenly I heard my son whimpering. I went upstairs to check on him, and as I entered the room, my heart froze to death. A cold wind rushed down my spine. I felt I was going to collapse at that very moment. She is standing near my son's crib. With her lifeless, horrifying stare, she was stooping down on my son's face. A heavy breath came out of my mouth and she looked right at me. I could feel worms crawling into my skin, as if I have been thrown into a dirty, dingy hole for which I can never come out. Her expressionless face shivered me down. I couldn't move my legs. She opened her wide black mouth and the light in the room went off. I screamed with the top of my lungs, but I couldn't stand much longer. I heard my husband's car arriving and started shouting for help. I told everything to my husband and my father-in-law. This time they couldn't shake it off seeing my condition. My son was still in high fever, and his health was deteriorating rapidly. We all started sleeping in two adjacent rooms and downstairs. My husband went to a local priest and told him everything. He came and blessed our house. After that, none of us saw that woman again, and my son started to recover surprisingly. A few years later, when I was cleaning my father-in-law's study, I came across many old local newspapers. I read shocking news. 10 years back, a homeless woman committed suicide on the roadside tree near our house. Some people said that her husband kicked her out for mental health issues and left this town, taking her newborn baby. The woman kept wandering off the streets at night. Her eyes kept looking for her baby. Out of pain and despair one day, she hung herself. Our church priest says spirits who die with unfulfilled aspirations have a tendency to come back. I still get goosebumps thinking she wasn't looking at her house or me. She wanted to have my baby.